Hi guys, welcome back to my cave. This is Diana, Crazy TV, and I wanted to start the video by showing you guys what I got on the weekend. As you guys might have seen, I do collect oilers. Oilers is my weakness, and I got this awesome little square hole puncher. In today's video, I want to show you guys some of the ephemera that I make. I make some chicken wire or chicken coop wire fencing, just sometimes to decorate my pages, or sometimes as a background, or sometimes as a foreground. And I like to make them when I don't have nothing to do. I like to make like little metal stuff, or as you guys know, aluminum can stuff, just stuff that I know that would go with a few different themes. And I thought I showed you guys how I do it. I do mine on my end. Now I use this very thin wire, but I have used pretty much every size wire. I just, whatever's in the box of wires, whatever is left over, I grab it. So in reality, the wire thickness doesn't really matter. It's not structural, so it's not important. Sometimes when it's in structural, it's important, but in this case, it's not. So I wanted to show you how I started off. I start off by doing twos and twos. Once you have a set of two of however big you want to make it, I made mine 6 inches tall, and I think it ended up being like, by the time I was done weaving it and making the fence, it was about 4 inches. So keep in mind that the twining and twisting shrinks the little area you want it. So based on that, I decided to make my fence about 4 inches by about 2 inches. So it's like a little rectangle of a fencing. So you do 2 by 2, and then you unite the middle two, and I twisted them. I believe all of them were 3 times. Now, you can pick whatever number you want, but at the end of the day, you'll have to twist them all the same number, so it looks like a cohesive chicken coop fencing thing. Or if you guys are making the chain link fence, like if you had a theme of like street art or something street related, you can just do 1 twist. I think that chain links fencing is 1 twist, or maybe even 2, but I think it's like more simplified than this chicken coop. I like the chicken coop because I think it's fun. I mean, I can go out and buy it and have a bunch of it here, but I believe it or not, even though I have a whole room to myself, I lack a lot of space because I collect a lot of things. As you guys seen in my video, my tour video, if you would call it, but my showing, because I don't know, I wasn't just specific, but anyways. So once you arrange it, the ends I go up as if I was twisting it. So I make the shape of like, is it like a triangle-ish, like a diamond-ish shape? So I mimic that shape without having it to twist with another one, so that it gives me like this very clean cut. Now I have done it where I kind of cut it and make it more grungy, make it more like if it was just literally a piece of chicken coop that I cut off of somewhere, and I stored it and I used it in a book later. So if you want to go with that effect, you can just on the ends cut them in different areas, so you guys can get that. Now I don't like doing that because I'll end up having pokies, or things that poke the other page or stuff. But I have done it if I see that it's not gonna damage my other page. And I mean, you could always fold the little tips down, but yeah. So this is how I do my metal wire little cage. And once I'm done with that, then you can paint it, or you can leave it as is. Mine, because it has a metal shiny look, I'm gonna paint it. And I usually either use the acrylic paint if it's not like moving parts, because sometimes my books have moving parts. If it's not a moving part, I just use acrylic because it's not gonna rub off. But you can also spray can them, or use the black gesso, the heavy duty black gesso, and that would work really good. Now on to my next ephemera. So I have sorry, that was my daughter. That was I'm gonna use the wax seal kind of approach, but I'm using those meltable wax crayons, you know, the ones that you buy to make crafts with your kids, like the melt. So it does make a difference when you're making this, because you can't just grab a regular Crayola. I mean, you can, it just takes longer to melt, and and you know, just I don't know, it didn't feel the same when I tried it with a regular Crayola. So I grabbed those meltable Crayolas, and I have like I have a box full of them. I have all the collections and stuff, but in this case I'm using the blue one. So my setup there is simple. I put a candle, and I have a little spoon that I have here in the cave that I use for pretty much everything, and I put it over the fire, over the candle. But as you guys can see, I have that paper clip, and that is just because if I grab the spoon straight forward, it's gonna like burn me, and also helps me keep the spoon by the fire. And to prep for my spot for my candle, I'm gonna use a stamp. But in order for the wax not to glue, not to like burn so much my stamp or ruin it, or not to also stick to it, I'm using coconut oil. I always have coconut oil handy in my hands because I wash them a lot. So that's what I use in my hands, and I'm gonna use it on my stamp, and I'm using it on the glass. Now I'm using glass because I do have that paper, that cookie sheet paper, but every time I've tried this with that, the paper warps, and so it warps my seal, and I don't like that. So I'm trying it on glass, and it's a tricky thing, but I'll tell you guys how to do it. So anyways, once I've melted, I don't know if you guys saw that I used two different color crayons, and I just used a little piece of it and I put it on there. And once I put the coconut oil, I let it sit. Let the wax sit for about 10 seconds, and then put it on. Because if you put it on right away, the stamp goes through, and it doesn't like it's not thick. It cuts, the weight of the stamp cuts through the wax, and you won't have a nice wax. So in this case, it worked out great. I really loved how it came out. I at first I thought it was gonna like misshape my stamps, but it doesn't. So I really like this technique. I don't have to go buy wax from the store, and I can just use my Crayolas. And you guys will see the difference too when you use the regular Crayola and this meltable Crayola. It kind of like, if it's hot, like this day was hot, and you put it in your hand, the Crayola like kind of starts melting right away in your hand. And it's cool because the other one, plus it smells. The other one smells hard. I mean really strong. So because this is really not made for that, and I guess this one, since people know it's like to melt, they take away some of those chemicals. I don't know, but I like that it doesn't smell as strong as the other ones did. Anyways, this is a close-up, and this is almost real time. This is just a little bit sped up because I have a certain amount of video, but in reality it's a very quick process. It doesn't take, it takes about less than a minute for a little piece to melt. So I kind of wiggle it around it, but you can just leave it at that. You could also put a little bit of wax, like from those finna bars, or Crayola waxes from those you know, from that you buy from the craft store, and it gives you that little gold swirl on there too. It's really nice. I don't know why I didn't show you guys that, but I've done it in other ones, and I like how it, you know, three colors look really nice. And in my next sample that I want to show you guys how to do, I'm using a pressed coins. I don't know if you guys saw another video where I use a pressed coin for as buttons, and that was my husband's hand, sorry. But I put a pressed coin The word is backwards, as you guys can imagine, but if you guys have a more image um, based um, penny, then it then doesn't matter. The word doesn't really matter. You'll see the picture more than the actual words. In this case, I have a coin, a 25 cents coin from Disneyland, and also I also do the coconut oil on the coin, just because you don't want it to stick to it, because I want all those little details to come out. And as you guys can see, I'm a little patient, so I sit there and I'm very impatient. So these 30 seconds, it's not even that much. When now that I'm saying it, sounds so silly, but man, it kills me to wait that long. Look, I even like do this, like put the candle closer and make it closer because I'm so impatient at doing it. But I like the coin because you can do like I have coins from the zoo, from Disneyland, from every place that I go. I collect them everywhere I go. Even my kids, when they go to places and stuff like that, they always bring me coins. And so I have a large collection of pressed coins. I don't. There's another video where I made a cell phone case, and I decorated with one of my quarters from Disneyland, like the one you see here as well. So once you take off the coin, well, first of all, you let it cool off before you take off the coin. That otherwise it would warp if you don't let it cool off. My patience is not good for this kind of method. But anyways, once you do that, let it cool off. You take off the coin. Then the trick to getting them off the glass is to put it in the freezer. I put the whole little glass in the freezer for like a minute, and then by the time you get the glass, like the crayolas have came up, they they popped out of the glass themselves. So in reality, you don't have to like prop them off the glass. They're already off the glass when you get them off the freezer. And I was breaking them because I didn't know how to take them off, but I figured it out. So I'm letting you guys know the trick of getting them off the glass, and you'll have a completely flat wax seal as well. And after this, you guys can grab your rub-on waxes and enhance those shapes so that you have a very pretty and very nicely decorated one. Now, if you're patient enough, you can grab your kids' crayolas and melt them. They take a little longer, like I said, but at the end of the day, they do have the same effect. And you'd pretty much be making all these wax seals for free. My third and last ephemera idea that I'm sharing with you guys is with air drying clay. Um, I've shared how to use it before with glue, and it becomes really really hard when you mix it up with glue, and it doesn't crack as much. But in this case, when I make these little like button like ephemera out of that air clay, I let them crack. I don't mind. I don't care. Sometimes I even break them on purpose and then re-glue them back again, just so that they have that effect. Or sometimes you break them off and then you just glue them like a little bit of separate, so it looks like they're falling apart on your paper or on your project. So I do like air drying. Plus, I get to share with my daughter. Well, in reality, people, we all know she's sharing with me. But these are my fuzzlings footstep that I make for when I journal about my fuzzling that lives here in my cave. And I also made a bee with a bee stamp. I put a little bit of paint on it and some gold. You really can't see it on the screen, but it looks really cool. These are some of the other Crayola ones I've made. And I kind of threw these together with the fencing or the chicken coop. And on the bottom, you guys can see there that I made a little air drying medallion, and then I put my little rusties on top of all of them. And this is like a starter ephemera where I started, and then I know I eventually finish it once I glue it down on a book. That's all, folks. Thank you guys for visiting my cave today and my channel. I really do appreciate it. If you like it, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up.